Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I would like to welcome all of you to our first webinar for 2024. My name is Basetsana Mutukisi, and I head up the public sector sales team. And with me, I have Stefan van der Merwe, who is a public sector product manager, and he'll be running with the demonstration and the whole session. We are very excited to have you join us this morning, and we look forward. We're going to be looking into the newest features designed to improve your financial reporting experience. So we'd like to ask you your participation is very important to us, and we'd like you to please share your thoughts during this session. We really appreciate your continued trust in Caseware. And here's to staying ahead and ensuring that your financial reporting meets the highest standards. Let's make 2024 a year of successful financial achievements. I'm going to hand over to Stefan, where he'll be taking you through an overview of the solution and versions, what's new for 2024, demonstration of the new features, and I'm going to hand over to you. Over to you, Menyar. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for those kind and encouraging words, Basi. We really appreciate that. Good morning, colleagues, from my side. Yeah, I think now you can see Basi's credentials there. If you want to send her email and contact, we will just deal with that at the end of the presentation. Yes, as Basi mentioned, the overview, we're just gonna, this webinar is really focused on empowering our existing clients, which owns the modified cash solution, and inform them on the new features and functions in the 2023 1201 update of MSCOA, which is an update that we need for 2024. So this is the focus of this webinar. So overview, what's new. Then we're actually going to show you the features, just a high-level overview of how the features actually work in the software. Have a bit of time for question and answers, and then we will be closing, and Basi will be closing. Excellent. Let's kick off. So I think one of there's always good just to position how the Caseware modified cash solution works. And this is the purpose of the slide. The whole journey starts with the accounting system, which is in the National Provincial Department is BAS, which is the basic accounting system. Then information is then every day sent through to the management information system of national departments and provincial departments, which is called Vulindlela. And we then obtain the data from the Vulindlela downloads, and you need to be a government official to have access to that system. Then the government officials will download the relevant reports from Vulindlela. We will import those reports into Caseware, and that will generate for you the PDF AFS exam financial statements, and it will also automate for you the Excel financial statements, and then and both portions of the financial statements can be sent to the National Treasury. The PDF is just not a straightforward PDF. We first generate the financial statements based on the prescribed specimen using our Caseware report writer, which is Caseview, and from Caseview you export into PDF, and that is the published set that you can present to your executive authority or your executive accountant, and they can use their financial statements to give to the auditors. The Excel version is then the version that you need to submit to Treasury for the consolidation purposes. the whole process really, there's 3 easy steps. It's import, there is a setup process for the preparation statement, and then you report. That's just that slide. I will quickly take you through just how we distribute the software, then just show you the versions that needs to be installed on the workstation, and then also the versions of your Caseware file after you've run the update process. Okay, so let's go get into the demonstration. So for that, I am going to Caseware Community. Okay, distribution. We sent out, if you now license, you purchase the licenses from us, you will be given access to our Caseware Community website, which is also the website got dual purpose. It's a knowledge-based website where information about the release, any of our software releases, FAQs, any information we store there, like a library for self-help that you can use the website for. But then also the website is used if you've got now a paid user. There's some login credentials, then you can log into the website, and like I'm doing now, I will go to my software page, and you know, I'm a registered user. I can log in, launch, download, and go into the process to install the software. And then all the software that you would be licensed for is created in this and will be then showed here. I'm not currently licensed for any software, but the software that you've purchased, you will license here, and you will download. You can see the steps is enter the information, select the apps, and then download the software, and then that is the software that is then available for you to install onto your workstation. So that's the distribution part of it. I'm just going to close down those websites. Caseware is I'm just got a few things opened here and as prepared for the demo. Caseware is this application that, apologies for that, let me just close some of these apps that's open here, so that it's just a bit easier to navigate. Okay, so Caseware, after you've now downloaded the software, you will install the software. I think at this point, our experience is with national provincial departments, the installation of the software, you would need to have assistance from your IT department. People sometimes forget that. The reason being is Caseware requires local admin rights for the software to install on your workstation, and it could be that your IT policy of your company don't allow any user to install software on their workstation, so they would need to go through a process just to get the authorization to install the software onto the workstation, and therefore just ask your IT team to help you. After you've now installed the software onto the workstation, you would see the following icons and programs that has been installed in your workstation, which is then this icon here, which is Caseware. This is now Caseware. Caseware Tracker is just a tool to manage all your Caseware file, but we only going to focus on Caseware. And if I type in Case or Caseware in my Start button, you can see it's a software that is now installed on my workstation. And then you can just either click on the shortcut or launch the application from your Start button, and this is what you will see. Okay, so the best way to check, and remember we're now at getting the software and just confirming I have the right version of the software, because it's very, for compliance software, versions are extremely important, because that's the way that you know you've got the software with the latest compliance versions. So that's why we spent a bit of time on here. It's not like Excel or Word that, you know, you can be an older version, because those are just applications, but we are dealing here with compliance software, so versioning is very important. You confirm, first of all, with this release, we are releasing this on the new version of Caseware 23, and you can confirm that version. If you open up Caseware, you go to help, you can see you need to be on Caseware 2023 00056 version. That is the application that has been downloaded. So again, every year we give you a new version of Caseware or increase the version of Caseware, because we also add new features to the core application of Caseware. The second version you need to check is your version of your content. This is now the modified cache, and the modified cache is a template. So you can go to File, Templates. You will see that there is modified cache, and that's the version 2023-12.01. So you need to make sure that that is the version that is installed on your workstation, and now you are ready to continue your Caseware file and complete your reporting. Now you are ready. No, maybe one step back. Now you are ready to update your file. So up till this point, we have just sort of laid the foundation, made sure that the workstation is updated to the latest version. But now there's another step that needs to happen, where you need to update your already existing Caseware file. You do that by you would browse to your file that you've already created last year, and I'm just going to browse here to a client file. The first thing that will pop up is a notification of a file conversion. This is not part of the update yet. All what's happening now is that we are just taking your file and converting it from Caseware Working Papers 2022. You can see there it's listed or written, and we're just converting it to Caseware Working Paper 2023. Again, this is still not part of the full compliance update, but this is the first step in updating your Caseware reporting file, to converting your Caseware reporting file to the latest version of Caseware Working Papers application. You can create a backup. I'm not going to create the backup, and I'm just going to and click on that file. So I couldn't open up that file. It's got integrated. It's just a copy. I just want to show you that file. Okay. Then I am just going to close this window. Let's just go to this file here. I'm going to open up just another file because I want to show you the conversion, but then I also want to show you the update message. Okay, so this file that I've got here is already, see about that. I just need to here. Okay, so you have now open up your existing file, and you've installed the latest software on your workstation. You have opened up your last year's file and converted it from Working Papers 2022 to Working Papers 2023, the application. Then what will happen is that after you've done that, you will actually see now that your file, the update is now available. And this is now the important one. This is where the content update happens. However, you would see that in Caseware, we are really focused on giving you the power. You must make a decision. We don't just automatically update files for you. We take you through a process to update a file, but you can always opt out. There's also different levels of updates that you can apply to your existing file. The first one that you can do is that you do a full replace. So it's any customizations that you've done would be replaced. So you would just have the latest version of the financial statements. Or you can, and the recommended version process is that you update just the financial statements. This is the process where all the content changes, all the new notes, changes to the balance sheet, only those changes that are affected by the content changes would be affected, would be changed, and all any other areas in your financial statements would be unaffected. So this is also what we would recommend, that you select the second option. Always good to make a backup. So you would see that there we prompt you for making backups at two places. Before the conversion, you are prompted to make a backup, which you can do. And even before the update process, you are prompted to make a backup. And you would not be able to continue with the update process if you've not confirmed that you've made a backup. You can see there, it grays out the button. And then you can click update, and then it will update your financial statements. But what will it update your financial statements with? And this is where we have the link to, this is just not the right browser. Let me just go to this browser here. This will take you to this link, again back to our Caseware community website, where what is new is detailed for you in this article. What is new, what is the compliance changes, and any improvements we're making to your Caseware file in this article. Okay, so first of all, and I'm just taking you through what's already existing content. First of all, what's the high-level objective of this update is to align the Caseware modified cash financial statements to the latest departmental specimen that was issued by the end of June last year, to align it to that prescribed format for 2024. Also, what we will do is that we will add the latest version of the Excel financial statements that was also issued by June 2023 to your Caseware file. Then you can see there we go into details about the features, and we also just talk about the Caseware version that you need to use. Okay, I'm just going to jump back and just go to my slide here. So we are here just on that demonstration. We are now back into the slide where we're going to say, listen, we have sort of what's the high level requirements that we're doing, but we always try to improve the user experience of using the application, and listening to our clients, what was the challenges they had last year, and then from a technology point of view, and also make them the relevant improvements. To do that, we've made 3 big technology changes. We have improved the import process from Vulindlela with more budget import options. I'll take you through that. We have a feature to make sure that the financial statements and appropriation statement are better aligned. And if it's not aligned, we will notify you. And then lastly, we have made some rounding improvements in the Excel financial statements to make sure that there's no rounding differences between the Caseview financial statements and the PDF that generates the PDF and the Excel financial statements that's sent to National Treasury. Okay, so that's the three main features. So let's then just jump back into the and I will go back into the application. The detailed compliance is I will also just address, but let's just quickly first just deal with the deal with some of those features that I've listed there. So after you have now updated that file, you've selected the second option, you've clicked update, it will run a process, then you would your file would be updated. How do you know your file is updated? Here on your introduction or your introduction screen, you would see the version of your Caseware file is showing there, and this is your name of your file, and this is your version. It's showing there. It's 2023-1201. So this means that this file has been updated to the latest version of the template that was installed on this specific workstation. Okay. The first feature I want to talk to you about is the import from Vulindlela. So if you now click, maybe just one step back, and I want to show you is that for our existing users, you would see that there is no version 1.1 and 1.2 anymore. And we've deprecated those versions because Vulindlela don't support those versions anymore. So it's not necessary for us to maintain those versions in Caseware. And we only have now version 1.3. And that's the first thing that we did. And if you go now to the import screen, this is what you would see here. You would see it have changed a bit from the previous import screen. You, as always, have the options to browse to the three reports that you would have learned in your training, how to download it from Vulindlela, the revenue control, expenditure control, and the trial balance report. So you can still browse to that. You can also still import the prior year and browse to that. You can still after you've made some mapping, you want to go back to the default mapping of in Caseware, you can select that so that during the import process it goes back to default mapping. So these are two existing features. However, the new feature that we added is this new options for the import, the budget import default option. So the budget imports for the importing the budget, adjusted budget, the shiftings and environments of funds. We actually give you now three options. You from Vulindlela, by default, without selecting anything, you will always just import the budget information only. You will, even though there could be some preliminary information, budgets that's transactions that's lying against environments and shiftings. We will not import that. We will only import the budget information. So that's the default. That's option one. Option two is if you want to show the current environments and shiftings, you want to import the original budget as well as the environments and shifts that is currently in Vulindlela, you would be able then to do that. And then the change that's now linked to the change in Vulindlela, you will also now have an option to import the adjusted budget, which then incorporates the environments and shifts as part of the adjusted budget and only show the post-adjustment environments and the post-adjusted shifts separately. This is if you don't understand this, I think it's you must go and just study that BAS notice that deals with this implementation of the new budget categories for post-adjusted environments and post-adjusted shifts. But our experience is you guys have already been trained on that. So, but just this just gives you the flexibility of importing sort of three different detail of the budgets that is on Vulindlela. Again, by default, the original budget only. If you select this one, it's the original budget plus the current environments and shifts. It will not import the post-adjustment environments and the post-adjusted shifts. But on this one, it will incorporate the current environments and the current shifts as part of the original budget to be included in the adjusted budget. And then it will show the post-adjustment environments and post-adjusted shifts separately. There is a knowledge article that you can also go to, which then just explains this a bit more. And I think here it also gives that option 1, 2, and 3. And again, option 1 is really something we recommend for quarter 1 and quarter 2, because you would not have any, you don't want to report any environments and shifts. However, if your environments and shifts, you want to report them, you can go to option 2, which can be something that is something you would do in quarter 2, 1, 2, and 3. But option 3 is really something that we would recommend you only do in quarter after the adjusted budget. So that could be quarter 3 and 4. But because then you would only for your reporting purposes want to show your post-adjusted environments and your post-adjusted shifts separately, and any of your other budget adjustments, it would be incorporated as part of the adjusted budget total. Okay, so I think that's a mouthful. It was a very fundamental feature that because if you get the data right, the reporting will just automatically work. Okay, so I think that was the first wanted to chat to you about. But let's just jump to the financial statements. So I've already just launched the financial statements here. Let's just jump to the financial statements. You would also see after the update, your version has been incremented to 2023-1201. And I'll just jump back here. What was the biggest change from a content point of view and from last year specimen to 2023 specimen to the 2024 specimen is the add to the face of the statement of financial position, a new category for statutory appropriation to be surrendered to the revenue fund. It's a current liability, and by adding this new line item on the face of the statement of position, that resulted in a new note for the statutory appropriation to be surrendered to the revenue fund. It required the statutory update to the statutory appropriation, not requested, not received note. It's required an update to the cash flow statement. It required an update to the transfers and function and mergers note. So I think that one line item, like any accounting, the moment you make a change on the balance sheet, there's a ripple effect on, require a note. It will have a ripple effect on some other line items as well as the cash flow. Okay, so I think that was the first thing. So let's just quickly run through that. If you go to your balance sheet and you go to your there is the new line item, statutory appropriation to be surrendered to the revenue fund. You can jump to the note and there is the new note that you would then be able to use if you have statutory appropriation, and there is at the end of the year some statutory appropriation that you need to return to the revenue fund, and you would have a note to manage that whole process. The cash flow statement have adequately also been updated with, and then let's go back, and I can show you the transfers and mergers note has been updated. Okay, but I think that's just this was the biggest change. Okay. When we compare the financial statements, so what we do is that we take our financial statements in Caseview and compare it to the prescribed specimen. We do a full compare and we pick up any nuances, changes, and for example, in our annual appropriation statement note, the first note. So just jump back to the financial statements. There was a paragraph references, and it doesn't impact any compliance. It really just only impacts the guidance to the standard. Okay, so I went there to the appropriation statement. Okay, let's just go back into the financial statements. If I go to my first note, we picked up that the paragraph references has changed, and we have updated it as well. Even though it doesn't print, these are guidance text. It's just a question of you need to be accurate and correct in the information that you present in the software. So we will update things like that as well. We've made changes, and the same applies now. Some of these other things. We needed to remove a column under the aid assistance. We added the subnote in the goods and services note, the subnote for other supplies. We removed a row, and we made some description changes in the advances paid note. So I think we want to make sure that we exactly align to the specimen, and we would make any small changes as we go along. So a lot of these things are really just small changes that we've just fixed and corrected to align to the latest specimen. I think the other big change was really the split of the changes in accounting estimates and change in accounting policies note. Let's just go to that one. A very nice feature. This is an existing feature, but we also see a lot of clients don't really always use it. Is the document map. So it's just it's like, I don't know if you've seen in Word, there's like an overview that you can get of the document, which then gives you like a quick jump to the specific areas you want to go to, and this is the same with the document map. You access this feature by going into your main ribbon, your Caseware ribbon at the top. You click on document map, and then the structure of your you can collapse the whole area, but the whole structure of your financial statements is then presented, and then I can just collapse all. Then what I want to show you is that if we go to that change in accounting policies and estimates note, a big change was the specimen now requires separate sections for each one of the as well as a section for changes in estimates, and it's got now also a section for changes in accounting policies. I just want to see. Yes, so that was also an unfairly change on the specimen side. For all the annexures that deals with gifts, donations, and sponsorships, the tables that deals with gifts, or the tables has been now splitted so that you actually now have a separate table of information for gifts, a separate table of information for sponsorships, and this separate table of information for donations. And that applies to all the annexures that deals with statement of donations, of sponsorships, and received and made, those annexures. So let's just jump there. Let's go to those annexures. Let's check. You can see here annexure 1H. There is now the table for the gifts, there's a table for donations, and there's a table for sponsorships. I think that's the same of any of the annexures that that deals with this specific area. Okay, so I think that was also a fairly big change from last year. And then lastly, the annexure 11, the old COVID annexure is now renamed to natural disaster and relief expenditure. You still have the option to show it per quarter or per month. And then lastly, the new annexure 12 was introduced regarding the analysis of prepayments and advances that you need to populate information for, the name of the entity that you've paid, that you prepaid and you've given an advance to, and all the information that is now required by the specimen for 2024 is added here as well. Okay. So that's from a compliance point of view, most of the compliance. Then we also have added a new feature to the balance check. This feature really focuses on to manage that your appropriation statement and your financial statements are aligned, and if it's not aligned, it will just notify you that you need to just go and launch the appropriation statement so that it can refresh and therefore align to the financial statements. So currently I've got the appropriation statement open, and therefore that error message doesn't appear. It could be that when you see that error message, it's really all you need to do is just go and launch the appropriation statement, because it is a calculated document. All the information from your last import just needs to be refreshed, and then after launching the appropriation statement, it will refresh the financial it will refresh, and therefore also just refresh the financial statements. Why is that important? Again, this was really as an improvement to a feature that we've added last year that deals with rounding, our rounding feature. And remember, this feature is a feature where we check. So it's not that one there. So let's just go to another area. It's more on the expenditure side. This feature is a feature where we automatically check that if we calculate your basic salaries or the salaries and wages from the appropriation statement by looking at all the different sub-programs, and just because it's calculations, and we see how that is calculated from the high level in the financial statements, we see that there's a rounding difference, and then this feature just automatically apply the rounding difference to the financial statements so that the financial statements and the appropriation statement align always. And this is really all to do with rounding. And rounding in modified cash, we deal with thousands. So rounding is a big issue. It's a complicated issue from a reporting point of view to manage, but we've built in a lot of features that deals with that reporting issues. And what will happen is that if this rounding if the appropriation statement is not refreshed after the import of the latest trial balance from Bundlela, then this rounding is not updated, and then the amount is not calculated correctly, and therefore we've built in this check to highlight you or to notify you. Listen, just go and refresh your appropriation statement to agree to the latest trial balance that has been imported from Bundlela, and you open up the appropriation statement, it refreshes the calculations, and it refreshes the rounding calculations on this side. All of this complicated stuff just to do with rounding, yeah, it's one of those things that really cause a problem for our clients, and therefore we build all of these features in. Okay. On the appropriation statement, we have also made another technical improvement. We have made sure that the date settings in the appropriation statement also aligns, is now actually driven from the date settings in your financial statements under your column settings, and so that just automatically aligns the date settings between the two different sections, the appropriation statement and the rest of the financial statements. It's just a technical feature. What happened is some of our clients would have a different date setting in the appropriation statement to the financial statements, and then say, listen, the numbers is not correct, and it was really just a setting of dates that was inconsistent between the two different reports, and we just automated that process. Okay. So I think those were the. Oh no, there's actually another ticket item that we've added. There's actually two ticket items, but let's just deal with the first one. Technical items is we improve just for you information of what has changed after the update, and which areas in your financial statements have changed. And to use this feature, again, you need to enable the document map. You go to document, and then you can just click on this area, and it will filter for you, and there's nothing here. It will filter for you all the items that has been updated. Okay. I just want to check. I just want to go back to my script. Yeah, the Excel financial statements. Oh yeah, and the SCOA. Okay, so before I show you the Excel financial statements, oh yeah, there's another. So the moment I just go through the notes, I now reminded of all the features. Before we go to the Excel, let's just deal with these two. During the import process from Bundlela, we actually in the modified cash template, you don't need to map anymore. It works for automatically map process from Bundlela, but it does mean that we need to maintain that auto map process as the SCOA versions is upped and improved every year from National Treasury, and I think we added about 160 new SCOA accounts that will just help with the automap process. So that's that automap there. A very small but fundamental feature that we added based on user requests is that if we go to the annexures, users want to be a bit more decisive on that the annexures are audited or unaudited, or just part of the financial statements, and we just added this drop down to the heading to just to help you with that reporting. Okay, so that's that feature. Very small feature, but in the context of audited financial statements, a very important feature. Okay. I've spoken to that one. You can see here, this is the error message when the appropriation statement and financial statements not aligned, and or it will just take you to if you click on a button, it will just take you to launch the appropriation statement and therefore align the two reports. Spoken of data retention view, the optimizer is optimizer improvements. This is actually linked to this feature, the optimization feature. So, but this feature is really after you've now updated your file, it will automatically just and it will not really change. This is maybe 2 steps back. This is really a feature when you start a new file in modified cash in Caseware, and then what this feature does, it will allows you just to manage your content of which notes and which accounting policies you want to include in your financial statements. How it will work: the green is always notes, and that will be automatically included in the financial statements because they have balances. However, there are some other notes that you can just include, and this is not, they are never, if you don't include it here in the optimizer, it will never be included. It's just a part of to streamline the setup process. You can always just switch them on if you are in the financial statements. But the improvement that we've made is if a note is not included and you don't want to include it in your financial statements, we actually just remove the content in the background, and we so that the file is smaller, the case view file. It just helps the file to be quicker. However, even though the content is removed, there is a link to the library still in the background. And if you want to add the note into your file, when you switch on the note, it actually don't just visualize content that was already existing in the Caseview document. It just brings in first the content from the library into the report and then visualize it. So it does give you a bit of more, 2 or 3 seconds in time to switch on a note. Really 2 or 3 seconds. It's not, it's very difficult actually to see it. But what we do deal with these features is that we just manage the amount of content in a document that just gives you a better overall user experience by using Caseware and the Caseview document. Okay, so that's that feature there. We then just improved the new icons. Is you can see here we just improved some of these icons here, the look and feel, so it's a bit more modern. Then I'm sorry, wrong button. I've taken you through the import process. Oh yeah, then the import process. I didn't now do import, but you would also see now a completed notification happening after you've imported from Vulindlela. We didn't have that, and clients sometimes just wonder, okay, is the import now done? It was really a very easy thing to add, that we just now added the notification that the import has been completed, and you will see that. So that's the big thing. Now we can go back to the Excel financial statements. So during this release, we will add the latest Excel version from National Treasury. I've just created this Excel version. Again, the context is that we don't, this is not our Excel document. We just use our connector technology to automate the completion of the Treasury's document. This is the official document from Treasury. What we just then do is with our connector functionality, we then just link up the value that you've punched in to the database that has been populated in Caseware, and that helps you to align the Excel document to the PDF or Caseview version by just virtue of using Caseware. So first thing that we did is that we've made sure that we're using the latest version that was issued by National Treasury, and that we add during the update process to the document manager for you to use. We also add the macro to import the prior information into the Excel financial statements. This is normal, and this is not us. We just like instead of you going to the Treasury's website and downloading those Excel that macro, we just for convenience sake add it to the document manager. Okay. Then so that's the first step. Latest version for 2024, we've got you. Okay. Then a major improvement that we've made is really difficult to see to show you, but is that we've changed the way the rounding works in using our database connections, which then just makes the rounding in the Caseview appropriation statement agrees at a lower level to the rounding in the Excel financial statements. You can see that they're all over this document. We've added new rounding calculations with the integer of 0 because we are rounding to thousands, and however, even though we're rounded to thousands, the values in the database were still in rands. And even though we rounded that, sometimes there was a bit of a difference between the two reports, but this rounding feature now aligns the two reports much better to each other. I think that's the first improvement that a major improvement that we've made. We hopefully, because this was sort of one of the biggest challenges our users had last year on the Excel financial statements, the rounding, just you had one or two, and it's always not some clients have it, some clients don't have it, but and that's the nature of rounding. However, with this improved calculation, we are definitely very confident that we're not going to have any rounding issues between the Excel and the Caseview anymore. Okay, so it's a major feature. We needed to redo all the calculation in this whole document in all the blue cells. Then the same any changes that was made that is now new features in the Excel, for example, the new statutory appropriation note. We have also just added the links between the Caseview and the new notes, and just to add new linkages to the new sections added between the Excel AFS and the Caseview Financial Statements. Okay. That I'm just taking you, so you can clearly see I just took you through what we already discussed in our release documentation. I've shown to you where you can get access for self-help of that content on our Caseware community website, and also showed you on the Caseware community website based on your licensing.
Okay, thank you very much, Stefan. That was a mouthful. And I would like to thank everyone for joining our webinar this morning, and I hope you found it informative and valuable. Thank you. I just want to remind you that our team is here to support you every step of the way. Should any of you have questions or need additional information or require professional services in preparation for your financial year end, please do not hesitate to contact us. We appreciate your time and your engagement, and we're wishing you a wonderful day further and a restful weekend ahead. Thank you.